Hey, everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's been quite a while since we were able to convene. Various reasons, travel, sickness, Super Bowl, what have you. But we're back. Glad to be back in the fold. We're doing 1974 songs, top 50, where we put together our favorite songs from that year. We're going to present our individual lists as we go and compile the tabulations and see what came out on top. Might be a surprise or two in store for you. We were talking off camera about individuality, I think, surfacing a bit this year, where we all went off on our little tangents and picked our favorites, and we really don't give a crap what the other guy's saying. We're not trying to really match anybody. This is more individuality than we've seen in the past. I'm here with, of course, Brian, Massey's Main Entertainment, Randall Nelson, and Doc, the usual foursome. So let's jump in. We'll go to the list. Tonight's order, by the way, is Doc, Randy, Brian, and myself. So let's take a look at the lists.
Cool.
And see what we have in store. I don't want to hear any outbursts about, how can you have that? No, whatever.
Come on.
It always is.
Well,
needling is allowed.
Yeah, if you're going to say it, it's going to be as soon as my list pops up. So I'm ready for
Let's see it. Let's see Doc's list.
Let's see the list. Let's bring this up right now and see what the heck we're in store for. I thought I brought it up, but it's not.
There you go.
There we go. Doc, take it away, man. The boos are serenading down from the rafters here. Let's go.
I don't care about the peanut gallery or anything else. I really don't. I honestly don't. This is it's 1974. There's a lot of songs that are outside my top 10 that I really like and stuff. So placement might be one thing, or just missing the top 10. My top 20 is probably a little bit more accurate of me, but this is what I've got in my top 10. And yeah, it's Doc. So that's what I have. When I come at number 10, Same Old Song and Dance by Aerosmith. I think it's an overlooked tune from Aerosmith in a lot of senses. I think Aerosmith's overlooked in the early 70s, and I'm going to stick to it, man. That's really good blues rock and roll that they were pumping out in the early 70s, man. Really good band. Maybe fades a little as time goes on and stuff like that, but Aerosmith's overlooked, man. That's especially 70s Aerosmith. Really good rock band. The Eagles Already Gone. I think it's still a classic tune to this day kind of thing. So a big Eagles guy, man, especially in anything through the 70s with the Eagles, I'm all in on, right? So, but even like some of the solo stuff later on, but Already Gone kind of speaks for itself on my list, I think. Randy, you'll be happy to know I've got the Who in here with the Long Live Rock. It's if I get a chance probably to put a Who song in my top 10, there's a really good chance there's going to be a Who song in my top 10 if they got an album. So it's just one of those ones, man. I've got my fixtures that I stick to, and that's where I go. ELO coming in. Can't get it out of my head, man. There's something about ELO in the 70s, man, that just is so hypnotizing and so hypnotic, and you just gravitate towards certain things that they do, and it's the harmonies, the sound. It's exactly what they are. They're an electric light orchestra, and that's what they provide, and the sound is just, like I said, it's kind of hypnotic, man. I think it's fantastic, and makes my top 10 for a lot of those reasons. Bowie's Rebel Rebel coming in right behind it at number 6. Catchy tune from Bowie here, man. Once again, Bowie in the 70s, even into the 80s. Lots of love there. My Canadian Rush, Working Man, making an appearance in the top 5 here. So, and like the Who, I think if Rush has an album out in the 70s and the 80s, man, you're probably going to see a tune in there in my top 10. I'm a huge Rush fan, and yeah, they're hit and miss with a lot of people. I'm going to put it down to one of the most talented bands ever, in my opinion. And these guys are all peak at what they do, and a lot deeper than what people give them credit for. Yeah, it might be progressive. They started off a lot with the Zeppelin sound and stuff like that, and went from there. That first album sounds a lot like Zepp, if you want the truth, and it works into the progressive stuff later on. But Working Man's making my road. Keep another Canadian boy on here, Sundown, Gordon Lightfoot. Kind of an easy pick for me here. His best song, in my opinion, and still one with me to this day. And I've heard it probably probably since this time, to be honest with you, when I was a kid. It played a lot in the house when I grew up, and it's been with me ever since, and it's on my playlist. It's everything, man. It's a great song. Probably my favorite Supertramp tune, "Hide in Your Shell." It's debatable for me. Got a couple that I really like, but this one gets overlooked a lot, and I just find it so catchy, man. And the drops in this tune are really catchy. And Crime is one of the best albums of the '70s, in my opinion, as well. So wasn't that hard. Junior's Farm, Paul McCartney and the Wings, man. Love this tune. Always have, always will. Don't care what anybody else. It's a rocking tune from McCartney and the Wings, man. And it's exactly right in my wheelhouse. This is my kind of music, man. And so it's only rock and roll when I like it by the Stones is also my kind of music. So Stones going to come in at number one. It's the Stones in the '70s, man. I don't think I'm going to have a problem here dropping this at number one, and made my list for a lot of reasons. And it's going to go in number one spot for that reason too.
Wow. I would have to wager that I think Rolling Stones has appeared at least 3 times on the top of your list.
Probably have.
I feel like that's true. I'm not sure, but there's not a lot there. I don't think there's any surprises in your top 10 as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I would say, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you get it right for sure. Yeah,
it's like, sure, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I have one surprise, and that was Hide in Your Shell being number 3, that high. I know he's a Supertramp guy.
Right. I mean, when you said it was your favorite, when you said it's your favorite Supertramp song, that's the only thing that surprised me about it.
That elevates it. Yeah, no question. And let me just scroll down, and we'll just quickly go through your 11 through 20. I like to do this to see what just missed. Some staples in there that still are played on the radio today.
Right.
Yeah, all the way down the line. And, I love the Skinner tune. Got a couple more Supertramps in there, some Genesis. Aerosmith again, Bad Company. I love that title track. Can't say enough good things about that. Harry Chapin, a timeless song for neglecting parents, I guess. That happens to be one of my favorite BTO songs, by the way, too, Doc. Roll On Down the Highway. I'm glad you picked that one.
Yeah, it's a great tune.
Wow.
Love it. That rocks. That rocks the shit out of it. That's a great song.
Yeah.
We actually have one song that's going to be the same number. But you'll see when mine come up.
No way. That's cool.
Nice.
Kudos to Doc. Great job. Let's go down to Randy. All right, Randy, take it away.
All right, mine's a little bit different this time because I have like several albums I really love that aren't as popular, I guess. But my number 10 is from Heroes Are Hard to Find, the Fleetwood Mac album, which is probably my favorite Bob Welch era Fleetwood Mac album. Bermuda Triangle. He always liked the supernatural, and this time he takes on the Bermuda Triangle, which is pretty cool. My number 9 is Rollin', Randy Newman off his Good Old Boys album. Kind of the ultimate song about kicking back and watching the world go by, forgetting your troubles like you had a bad Super Bowl Sunday. And
no comment.
It's a great song. It's a great song for that.
I'm staying out of that one.
Which is a little different than the whole album because the other albums takes on more serious subjects, but that's a cool song. Number 8 is Bulbs, Van Morrison. I never understood why this wasn't a big hit because it's a catchy folk rock tune, but just seems like nobody knows it. Off of Eden Fleece, which I think is an underrated Van Morrison album, as you will see here. 7, The Golden Age of Rock and Roll from Mott the Hoople. I love Ian Hunter's vocals on this, and it's kind of a tribute to the early days of rock, which I always liked. Number 6 is Before the Deluge from Jackson Browne, one of the best songs about concern for the environment. My number 5 is Trying to Reason with the Hurricane Season from Jimmy Buffett. This is what I imagine life in the Keys to be like. And he's thinking about, there's a storm coming in, and he kind of equates his surviving the hurricane to surviving life and the party life that he was going through. But My number 4, I have a different Supertramp song in my top 10. I've got Bloody Well Right. Later albums by Supertramp are a little too polished for me, but I think Crime of the Century has the perfect mix as far as I'm concerned. 3 is another. This is where we match. Long Live Rock by The Who. Comes out on the Odds and Sods compilation, which has outtakes and other things on there. But it says "Rock is dead," they say. Long live rock, which could apply to nowadays too, because sometimes that.
It's true.
It's very true.
Yep.
My number 2 is Must Have Got Lost from the J. Giles Band. Now, the Blow Your Face Off maybe has the ultimate, but I still like the studio cut of this album as well. I mean, as this song as well. Peter Wolf kind of brought R&B to rock. Anyway. And my number 1, this one probably nobody else is going to have. It's Lyndon Arden Stole the Highlights off the Veed & Fleece album by Van Morrison. Elvis Costello loved this album and said this song made the album special. I agree. It's strange, haunting, and has some stream of consciousness lyrics that I've always loved. And he sings in that falsetto, which is kind of different for Van. That's my 10.
Wow. I didn't match with Randy on anything in the top 10. This really surprises me, a lot of these stuff. And some of these songs, I'll be honest, I'd have to go back and listen to Van Morrison again to know what those songs were.
Yeah.
Which album is the J. Giles from? What's your J. Giles song? What album is that from?
Oh, gosh, I can't.
Blood? Is that the Blood one or no?
It might be. I don't remember right now.
It was a pretty decent hit. I remember hearing it on the radio. I like the song. Must Have Got Lost.
Yeah, I got to re-listen.
Must Have Got Lost.
Yeah, those two Van songs, I had to revisit both of them. And to be honest with you, I like Bulbs. That's more my style, better than Lyndon Arden. Just for what I like, the folk rocky song. I kind of like Bulbs. I'd forgotten about it. I only listened to Veed & Fleece once, and I wasn't impressed with it. But I do have to give it a second spin because most of Van's albums are excellent. I love seeing Jackson Browne in there, of course. The Who doesn't surprise anybody.
The Who is great.
Nope.
And that is a smoking Supertramp tune too as well. Bloody Well Right's got a fantastic intro, man.
No question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go to the 11 through.
What do we got?
And you've got Bad Company in there too, so that's made the back end of both lists here. Sweet Home Alabama, Skinner song, title track. Heroes Hard to Find. I got another Jackson Browne song in there, which I'm happy to see. It's sort of a downer, but it's a beautifully written song. Another Supertramp, man. They're getting a lot of play in this particular year. I have to be honest, I do not know the Ann Peebles song whatsoever, but cool.
Yeah. Wow.
So that is a Sweet Home Alabama just missed cracking that top 10. Let's go into Brian. Brian, what do you got for us? Here's your list.
Well, mine are a lot of wild cards and deep cuts, I guess, off of some of the albums. I mean, I've got Seagull from Bad Company's self-titled album. Probably a song that most people don't know from Bad Company. I think it's one of the bookend tracks. It's the last song on the album. I think it's great. It's got a nice texture to it. Doc, I match you here. I think you had already gone from the Eagles as well, right?
I did.
Yeah, very good song from the Eagles, and keeping up with their country rock motif. Some Steely Dan here at number 8 with Ricky Don't Lose That Number. Definitely had to have it in here. Big Steely Dan fan, thanks to Rich, actually, in the long run. I've got Cats in the Cradle in my top 10. Very well written song. Very poignant, especially after if you have kids and then you also have a son, then certainly this song kind of means a little bit more to you, especially in later years. Number 6, this one here is probably one that no one would have, maybe Randy might have this somewhere on this list, but Richard and Linda Thompson's I Want to See the Bright Lights Tonight. One of the cool songs that I discovered on my music journey when I was listening to different albums in the top 1001 that you should listen to before you die. Also, the same is the case for Gene Clark here with Silver Raven from his album No Other, which I highly recommend to everybody to listen to. Very underrated album. Definitely is one that people should visit if they want to get like something just a little bit different and to on their palette for music. Number 4, I've got the Bobby Blue Bland here. Ain't No Love in the Heart of the City. First time I heard this song was actually on the soundtrack to, I think it was the opening song for The Lincoln Lawyer, the movie with Matthew McConaughey. It was being played, and I thought it was really cool. Had a nice soul feel to it, and I ended up loving the song, so it made my top 10. Not merely my favorite song by the Hollies here, The Air That I Breathe. Maybe one of their most notable ones as well. Definitely want to keep it high on my list. This one here is a real big surprise. I imagine my wild card from Deep Purple, Sail Away, from their album Burn. Very good rocking tune. When it comes in with that guitar, man, it just wails on it like for the whole time. I think this track's far superior than any Smoke on the Water. Any of the stuff off of Machine Head. I think this song is just superior too. So. And I also have Gordon Lightfoot, Doc, but I got it at number 1 for me. Right, Sundown. I think it's absolutely his best song. Just well written. Got that, that folk country rock, America. I want to say Americana, even though he's Canadian, but it still fits that motif. And I'm a big fan of Gordon, and this is my favorite song by him. So,
wow, very cool,
great list. I actually do have that Richard Lyndon Thompson later.
Oh yeah,
my list. Richard Thompson's actually my favorite guitarist, and I have a different song from that Bobby Blue Bland album, which was called Dreamer, but not that one, but a different one, but later on.
And a pretty hot take too, Brian, with that Deep Purple being, better than anything off Machine Head.
Oh yeah, I mean, I know I'm going to probably catch some heat for that one, right? Yeah,
I don't know if I go for that,
but it's solid list. It's a little mellow for Brian. His usual stuff with Sundown, The Air That I Breathe, Cats in the Cradle, Ricky Don't Lose That Number. They're all kind of laid back.
Cats in the Cradle.
Great songs. And here we go. Let's get into the 11 through 20. There's Supertramp showing up again. There's Doc's number 1. It's only rock and roll, but I like it. A great rock song from
we got
the era. Another Jackson Brown, the title track. I Shot the Sheriff, Take Me to the River. Junior's Farm, nice. Bad Company, is that the third time? I think it's the third time we've seen that. Spooky Tooth song, The Mirror. I know from past videos that's a favorite of yours. You got Big Star and Caramel by Cluster, another wild. You had 5 wild cards in that 10 segment there.
Wow,
20. Very good.
Very good list.
Thanks.
I'm thankful for all the support from Jackson Brown, because you're going to see a bunch of it on my list coming up next. And let's take it away. Here we go. Right out of the chute, I've got Before the Deluge. Randy talked about the environment, the sort of a almost apocalyptic kind of stuff if we don't take care of things the way they should be. I've got For a Dancer, that sad song that I sort of quoted at my mother's funeral. It meant so much to me. Really beautiful lyrics and a personal song, a favorite. I love Late for the Sky, the title track. I wanted to put those 3 in my top 10, but not short some of these other classics out, like the Stone song, which made number 7. I've got Rebel Rebel here from Bowie. Classic David Bowie. It had to make my list. Junior's Farm. It's been talked about before. One of my favorite McCartney and Wings songs. I like when he says, "Take me down, Jimmy," and that guitar solo comes running in there. Just great stuff. Can't Get It Out of My Head. Another favorite from ELO off that El Dorado album. Already Gone off of what is that, On the Border? I forget what album that is, but anyway, great track. And Bad Company's title track that we know all 4 of us had that somewhere in our top 20.
Yeah.
Right.
A couple top 10s, I think a couple of 11 through 20s. And my favorite song of the year is Fountain of Sorrow by Jackson Brown. Just songwriter extraordinaire, and I wanted to go in that direction. Now let's go to the 11.
First, I
Yeah.
just want to say that I really love your Jackson Brown top 10 here, Rich. It's
That's pretty much what it is.
yeah, no, that's not a surprise to me though. I figured you would at least have two, and I knew you really liked Fountain of Sorrow, and but I figured you'd at least have two. You got four. Great.
I think it's even more impressive, Brian, that me and Rich have 5 of the same in our top 10, and I have no Jackson Brown in my
And you have no Jackson Brown.
That's hard to do.
That is true. That's awesome.
Yeah. You might even see a couple more Jackson Brown coming up soon. I love that album. It's my favorite album of 1974.
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
And there they are. And there's that BTO song I talked about earlier, Long Live Rock. I love Long Live Rock too. I had to put Joni Mitchell Help Me in there. There's Sundown, Cats in the Cradle, which Brian had as well.
Yeah.
The Late Show and Farther On, which are two deep cuts off of side one of Jackson Brown's Late for the Sky. Love them both. Linda Ronstadt, one of my favorite female singers of the 70s. That was a big hit of hers, You're No Good. Sweet Home Alabama, and personal favorite, The Needle and the Spoon, which really kicks butt. It's a great song.
Nice.
So
perfect.
Wow.
There it is.
All right.
Let me do the transition where we go over and look at the consensus.
I'm curious now, based on how spread out this is, what's going to land at number one.
Might have a chance.
I'm guessing Bad Company.
Sundown's got a shot.
Already Gone might have a chance. I don't know. It's,
based on what we've seen so far, what would you say has? I
think Sundown has.
I can tell you, it's going to be
Bad Company, maybe. I don't know.
Bad Company might have a shot.
It's going to be
Already
close.
Gone. The Eagles.
It's going to be close.
Yeah.
I believe it's a 1 point difference. All right. Anyway. All right. So here we are with the consensus video. Woo! And as you can see, Sundown narrowly takes the number one spot with 26 points.
Wow.
Followed by It's Only Rock and Roll by the Stones.
No way.
Wow.
And then a point back, a two-way tie for third. You got Bad Company and Already Gone. So the songs that we talked about in general have made themselves up to the top of the list. Bloody Well Right. There's Junior's Farm at 6. Long Live Rock at 7. Rebel Rebel. Can't Get It Out of My Head. And Cats in the Cradle. That finishes out the top 10.
Nice.
Pretty interesting. Like I said before, it's not my favorite year of music, but there's still some undeniably great songs in here that you have to recognize. Sweet Home Alabama, as it did on somebody's list, came in 11 and also finished 11th. Oh, it was Randy's list. Randy has it 11, and it actually came out 11th.
Yeah.
Interesting. Look at this BTO song, which is one of the most popular ones. You Ain't Seen Nothing Yet. It got a 45, a 26, a 47, and a 27, and finished 13th on the list because it was made all 4 lists.
Oh, that's right.
Wow.
And I think it's probably me and you, Rich, as we go down further, roll on down the highway right there. You just went by it.
Roll on down the highway, right? We were the only two that had it, and yet it got 10 points. Yeah. There's Randy's. Lyndon stole the highlights. His number one vote got it a solid 11th place, which isn't bad.
Wow.
Take Me to the River. You're No Good. Linda had 3 votes out of 4. Not bad. There's the Richard and Linda Thompson song that you guys
Randy
talk
and I
about.
Had,
6 and a 28. There's Ricky Don't Lose the Number. That number. Same Old Song and Dance got a couple votes by Brian and Doc.
All right, Brian.
Right.
And Dreamer, which is a song we have not talked about by Supertramp, finished outside the top 20 with a 21, a 28, and a 32, and still racked up 8 points. Not bad.
Nice.
Pretty good.
What else do we have? Killer Queen, one of their pop songs. You got Blackwater in here. How Long, which is a song by Ace I've always liked. Making our way down the list. There's that Bobby Blue Bland song. There's Silver Raven. There's the Jimmy Buffett. There's Working Man. A lot of these songs were only on one list and sort of got pushed down. Bungle in the Jungle. We haven't talked about that. Moving On, another Bad Company tune.
Nice.
What else do we have? Seasons in the Sun, which I think according to Billboard, it was like the #1 song of that year as far as airplay and sales. But two of us had it, Brian and Doc. Walk On, which I know a lot of people really love from Neil Young. Ready for Love. There's Forever Young. I had it on my list. Didn't quite cut the mustard, so to speak. And because we have categories, some of these R&B, soul, funk songs are required. Yep. I think we have 3. We got Everlasting Love by Carl Carlton. A Barry White tune made can't get enough here. Yeah. What else? I'd like to run through the whole list for those who were interested. Carpet Crawlers shows up. Get Out of Denver by Bob Seger. Whatever Gets You Through the Night, John Lennon.
Yep.
Angel from Montgomery, a John Prine song, really done well by Bonnie Raitt. I Love Boogie on Reggae Woman. I love that song. That made my top 25. Please Come to Boston. Help Me Through the Night by Joe Walsh. Doc had that one. More Skinner with Don't Ask Me No Questions. Call Me the Breeze.
Oh, another. Randy, you had Some Misunderstanding by Gene Clark.
Yeah.
There it is. Yep. Gene Clark song.
So here's my Bobby Blue Bland song.
Oh, there it is. The way you treated me. Yep.
Yeah.
I had a couple Joni songs from Court and Spark, Free Man in Paris and Raised on Robbery. Carefree Highway, another Gordon song. A Pirate Looks at 40. Rock On by David Essex. Jackie Blue by the Ozark Mountain Daredevils comes in.
Yeah. Wow.
And look at the we had 130 songs total.
Woo. Yeah. We definitely went in different directions. It was interesting.
We went different on the top, the middle, and the bottom. We really covered a lot of different songs.
Quite the spectrum.
If you want to know the truth. Yeah.
Rich, you should give that Kiss song Deuce a go.
Deuce? Okay. I think I've heard it, actually, but I'll give it another listen. I think I've heard it.
Yeah, good too.
I wrote down some.
Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for this particular year, 1974. Thank all the guys for joining me on this. It's great to get back together and do one of these videos. It's been quite some time. So remember to subscribe to both Brian and Randy's channel. Their link will be in the description below. Give us some comments. Tell us where we screwed up. Praise us if you have to. We'll accept it. Anyway, thanks very much for watching, everybody. Take care. And we'll be back with 1975 at some point soon. Thank you very much. Later.